Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rasheed. So, I want to present a brief introduction to reactive programming with RxJava2. Yeah. So, this is like an introduction to the API and probably to motivate us to kind of look at it. Yeah. So to start, we all have to define the topic. Reactive programming, yeah, is like a declarative method of writing code where you have a data source and you listen to the data source. Yeah. So what is RxJava2 and Reactive X? So Reactive X is a set of libraries for composing data stream and managing how you program in a reactive way. Java 2 is a JVM implementation of it. There are other implementations on other languages, maybe JavaScript, PHP, RxSwift, and other. Yeah. So, uh, in summary, RxJava2, the APIs, what we can do with the APIs, we have APIs that allow us to represent sources of data. Then we have ways to listen to data, and along the way, along the pipe, we can modify and transform the data. Yeah. So sources of data. So the most important sources of data, or the abstraction point for sources of data in RxJava2, are the observable and the flowable. So you can think of an observable like a data source emits item that emits items, completes normally or completes with error. So when we say emit items, it's that what we mean by emitting item is that the data source can push item. It's like a pipe, a continuous flow of data. Here there is flowable. Flowable looks like an observable too, except that it has back pressure. And what that means is that you can control how your program will run. Back pressure will allow you to specify how your program will handle uh, data when it's too fast. For example, when you are publishing data faster than you can consume it. Uh, the other types of data sources in RxJava2 are single, maybe, and completable. So we have for observable, we said observable can emit 1 to n items, like can continuously emit items. There are times where we just want to get data once, so we need to find a way to represent it. For example, just making an API request is a one-off operation, so we represent it with single. Your maybe is the type that can either emit an item, complete, or error. So what we are saying is that it's like a single, but it it's not certain. Like it can either emit or not emit. So you can think of it like an optional, in, say Kotlin or other languages that represent absence of data in that way. So completable is just like runnable. You don't care about the result. It's something that you just want to happen. If it happens, fine. If it doesn't, it's fine too. Yes, so we have sources of data. We need to know how to create them. There are methods and operators to create data in RxJava2. So we can create with create, defer, just, empty, and lots of them. So for example, to create an observable from arbitrary number of items, we use the just method. We can create from a list, we can create from an array, and we can create in a way that we can create it lazily. So if we use differ, our observable will not run. The generation of the data will not run until something actually subscribes to it. So also there is this last method, create, gives us something that we can use to publish data. So uh, we said we have data sources. We need to know how to subscribe to the data sources, like how to get data from the sources. So how we represent subscribing to data sources are observer or and subscriber. There are types in RxJava2. So observer exposes a disposable. And what disposable means is something that allows us to probably cancel or complete the flow of data at a later time. Then there are other types for listening to data sources, but most of them are subclasses of these two guys, observer or subscriber. So they are not mentioned there. So to listen to a data source, we can receive results in something we call on next. If error happens, we receive it in an on error. If it completes, we just get a completion callback, and we can know when something subscribes. Okay, so listening to data sources. Let's say we have an observable, then we can actually subscribe to it with an observer. This is like a uh, this is like in Kotlin. So with the syntax allows us to hide the method, complete method signature, but in the real sense, this is a subscriber and it's receiving item from these two guys. So when we subscribe, it will actually print those guys. So a more interesting example is this one. So we have an observable to create users. So we have an observable to create users. So we have like something like a publisher emitter that allows us to push user to our subscribers. So anytime someone subscribes to it, we can actually print. This is an example. We can actually print the data from the pipeline. Then we have operators. So let's think about reactive programming like a pipe. We have data source, we have data source listener, but we can modify the data along the pipe or modify it in some way before it gets to the subscriber. Yeah, there are lots of operators in RxJava2. Yeah, map, flat map, zip, start with, and others. So an example of an operator is map. So let's say we have an observable like a pipe of numbers, something that emits numbers, but we actually want the double version of those numbers. We can apply an operator map to transform it along the pipe before someone actually subscribes to it. And when we subscribe to it, the version we get is this transformed version. Yes, so references, we have this guy to learn more about them. Yeah, so a bit of note, might uh, this is actually targeted to guys that have probably done Java or on Android or something like that. But the general concept remains the same, even in other languages. In summary, you have an observer, you want to subscribe to it, then you want to have a way to manipulate or transform the data along the way. Yeah. So thank you. This is like a brief introduction to the API. If you want a more deep level talk or something, You can check the links in the references. Okay.
So in this reactive program, when you subscribe, is there a way to like unsubscribe?
There's a way for you to unsubscribe and you actually unsubscribe. So, for example, when you subscribe to a company, yes, there's a way to unsubscribe, and you should actually unsubscribe when you so okay. For example, anytime you subscribe to an observable, this is an observer, it subscribes to an observable. What you get are callbacks that supply to information to the observer. So in this guy, it's giving you a type we call disposable. So from that type, you can actually hold it and save it somewhere. When you are done or when you don't want to observe anymore, you can use the disposable to unsubscribe, like something like d dot unsubscribe or dispose or something like that.
Let's say like I forgot to like unsubscribe. Is there like an notification? See, you said so. I'm getting at it from the point where it says like a pipe, like streams of data. So it will keep coming every time when.
You keep coming and don't want that to happen. Actually, like opening a file in your favorite program language, a file update or something, and not closing it. So you don't know what will happen. So the best thing you want to do is to find a way to unsubscribe from it. Okay. Thanks, everyone.